Hey, what's up? This is the Indie Soul Prepper coming back at you with another news story. This one here is going to focus on gun control, and it's coming out of the New York Slimes. And it's actually a bit of good news for a change. Headline: Sheriffs refuse to enforce laws on gun control. Awesome. It's about time. Good to see it. Uh, this gentleman's name is John Cooke. He's a sheriff in Weld County in Greeley, Colorado. And see him here standing up holding two 30-round mags. And, he's out doing a meet and greet and talking to the people. And what he's doing here, he's holding up these two magazines, and he's saying, hey, they look identical. One of them I bought before the ban and one after. And he's saying, how are you going to tell which is which? Colorado's package of gun laws, enacted this year after mass shootings in Aurora, Colorado, and Newtown, Connecticut, has been hailed as a victory by advocates of gun control. But if Sheriff Cooke and a majority of the other county sheriffs in Colorado offer any indication, the new laws, which mandate background checks for private gun transfers and outlaw magazines over 15 rounds, may prove nearly irrelevant across much of the state's rural regions. And it should be. I mean, good grief, these people are out there. It takes forever for police to get to them. You got a bear, you got illegals running around. I mean, whatever, It's the Second Amendment, period, And all of us that got any damn sense in our head know what that Second Amendment's for. It ain't for hunting. Good grief, when they wrote the thing, there was no supermarkets. You hunted for your food. So, the guns are here for us, protect ourselves from whatever, an encroachment from our own government, from other governments, from Russia, China, whoever, anybody wants to do this country or its citizens some harm, we got it. And it's good to see some men like this guy here is standing up with others and saying no. We know that Sheriff Mack back in the 90s, when Clinton was trying all his communist little slimy policies and things he was doing back when he was having false flags in Oklahoma City, and we had the massacre of the children down there at Waco. It's good to see that it's starting to come to a head, and some sheriffs out here are growing a pair, and they're standing up, and I love it. Now, and that's not going to go over well in places like New York State, where Andrew Cuomo, the homo, or whatever his name is, says here signed one of the toughest gun law packages in the nation last January. But two sheriffs have said publicly they would not enforce the laws. And Mr. Cuomo, homo, says an action that Mr. Cuomo said would set a dangerous and frightening precedent. Yeah, whatever. So, it goes on here, and even in California, some sheriffs are getting together. It says here, a delegation of sheriffs met with Governor Jerry Moonbeam Brown this fall to try to persuade him to veto gun bills passed by legislators, including measures banning semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines and lead ammunition for hunting. Mr. Brown signed the ammunition bill, but vetoed the bill outlawing the rifles. It goes on to say, excuse me, our way of life means nothing to these politicians, and our interests are being promoted in the legislative halls of Sacramento or Washington, D.C., said John E. Lope, the sheriff of Siskiyou. I can't pronounce that. You have to forgive me, folks. County in California, one of those who met with Governor Brown. He said enforcing gun laws was not a priority for him, and he added that the residents of his rural region near the Oregon border are equally frustrated by regulations imposed by the Federal Forest Service and the Environmental Protection Agency. Yeah, no kidding, man. It's a way of life for folks out in the rural areas. Heck, I'm in here in the city. I don't want to be, but I'm here, and I need them just as bad as they need them out in the rural areas. They got bears that might creep up in their house, and well, I got jackbooted thugs that want to break into my house and do home invasion robberies here in Indianapolis. So, no matter what you do, you're going to have people on both sides of the fence. I just hope the ones that are standing for truth and liberty and the Constitution, I hope we get more of those folks to join the battle and push this out in the open, because these strongholds like Chicago, New York, California, it's obvious for anybody with any brain to look up the statistics and take a look at what's going on there. Crimes through the roof, robberies, homicides, rapes, home invasions, all that stuff's through the roof. And yeah, we're having a little bit of it right now here in Indianapolis because it's spreading off from Gary, Indiana, and Chicago, and word gets around. But I tell you what, it ain't going to go on that much here in Indianapolis because we're like, I forget, rated 16th in the nation for being friendly, having friendly gun laws. So more than likely, you come messing around here in Indianapolis, and it ain't gonna be good for you. So anyway, just want to bring this story to your attention. It's a little bit of good news, but we're not out of the woods yet. For a lot of people, they're still in that pot, and the government's turning that water up just a little hotter, a little bit hotter. Each every 5-10 minutes. They crank it up a little bit. You get another school shooting, you get another this or that the media can twist, and then it turns that water up just a little hotter, and before you know it, if you don't get your ass out of that pot, start paying attention, you're going to find your ass boiled into a tyranny, period. If you're a hunter and you don't see the need for a big magazine or whatever, you need to wake up, because damn it, they're eventually going to come after your hunting rifle too, before it's all said and done. Do I need to really get back into it and start talking about what our government is preparing for? All the MRAP vehicles that are bomb-proof, mine-proof, IED-proof, you name it. They're getting shipped to local sheriff's departments and counties all over the United States in preparation for what? The IRS is sending IRS agents to be trained on ranges with M16s. They're storing up 2.2 billion hollow tip rounds of ammunition. The DHS purchased targets, to shoot at, to train their agents. And what's on the targets? Well, they're all white people. You got women who are pregnant. You got grandfathers on there standing in their house holding 12 gauges and or double-barrel shotguns. You got little kids holding pistols. And the name of the target's called No More Hesitation. What the hell does that mean? Well, that means they ain't going to hesitate to shoot your ass if you're holding that gun you don't want to let go. So this is where we're at. It's not all bad. It's pretty damn close. But, this is a sign of hope. If these idiots want to push it to the brink, into a shooting war or whatever they're going to do, or whether it's a false flag or they're waiting on a natural disaster so they can do like Rahm Emanuel said and not let a crisis go to waste and move in and try to collect the guns, whether they'll do it under the auspicion of a terrorist attack or something, and they've already got Russian troops here. Big Sis, before she left her post, she signed that and signed a deal with Russia's their version of FEMA. I forget what it's called, but they signed an agreement, and they're going to be sending Russian troops to help us with mass events. So the Russian troops are already here, guys. So all they need is the right disaster, the right pretense to send these Russians out with some DHS agents who could care less about the Constitution, who could care less about our country and its founding and what it stands for. For them, it's a paycheck. We know that the type of people they're allowing in law enforcement, we know that they're idiots, and they don't, they're taking folks that their IQ ain't that great. And it's just, they just dropped the ball on what type of personnel they're allowing in the government, especially in law enforcement and DHS, FBI, and other agencies. That's why we got so many cops out here that can't even deal with a child. If a child doesn't do what he says, he can't even freaking grab the child and put him in his place. He's got to grab a taser out, or he's got to smack him around. It's sickening. If I see one more cop freaking taser an old woman, I'm gonna freaking pull the hair out of my head, man. This is just the kind of people we got. We got a bunch of cowardly. I don't know what to say, folks. I mean, it's just getting so rampant anymore. We had an idiot here in Indianapolis, was it last year, a couple years ago, smoked this guy on a motorcycle. This cop was out driving drunk. His name was David Bassard. This guy's out drunk in his cruiser, man, and this guy's out with his wife on his Harley, on a nice summer day, and here this cop just comes by and smokes him, crushes him, kills him up in this motorcycle, and this case goes on forever and ever, and the police were all, how they do, trying to protect their own, and oh, yeah, there was blood taken, but it wasn't taken properly by the right certified whatever baloney, and then tried to get him out of it, but he ended up losing his job finally. But, Google it, people. I mean, these police all over the United States are doing all kind of things that are being swept under the rug. It's baloney. I don't care if it's white cops harassing black kids, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the point is these cops are becoming crooked. They're becoming more cowardly, and if you think for 1 second it can't happen in America, you are a fool. You are a fool, and you're going to get what you deserve, because it can happen here. It is happening here, okay? But anyway, I didn't mean to get off into that. I started thinking about these cops, and, if you've seen the pictures I've seen of what cops have done just around here in Indianapolis, there was a thing that happened 2 or 3 years ago with this little black kid, man. He couldn't have been no more than 13, 14, and these cops tased the crap out of him, beat his face in. I mean, this kid was unrecognizable, man. This kid looked like, I don't know, like he'd been exposed to radiation. That's how swelled up he was, And this is a kid, okay? Damn it, if you can't freaking take care of a kid without busting him up, there's something wrong with you, So this is where we're at. These people ain't going to hesitate. If you ain't going to cough up that gun, they ain't going to hesitate. That's all I can tell you, In Hurricane Katrina, that's what they did. They went to the rich areas where they'd have an easy go at it, kicking in doors, give me your gun, period. And even though it's a crisis situation and you got all the wards and all that stuff and all the ghettos going haywire, when people need their gun the most, what'd they do? They took their guns. And, they did try to go in some of the ghetto areas, and they wasn't having it. They got ran out of there by gunfire. So that's what it's going to come down to, We need to come together. You need to wake up as many people as you can. If you're at the shooting range, wherever you're at, if you're at the store, if you're out buying ammo at the Kmart, Walmart, hey, talk to people, If they're black, talk to them. If they're Mexican, talk to them. Because guess what? That's your brother. That's your brother in arms. More than likely, he believes in the Second Amendment or he wouldn't be there, okay? So we need to reach out. We all need to come together. We need to get rid of this division, okay, and come together. That's the only way. That's the only way. Again, this has been the Indie Soul Prepper. I'll keep an eye on this situation with these sheriffs speaking out. It's a wonderful thing. Like I said, Sheriff Mack, he kind of got the ball rolling back in the 90s, and he kind of set an example for these other sheriffs to follow. I do believe if you are a sheriff and you want to know more about what you can do, I believe if you Google Sheriff Mack, he has a class you can take. It's called, doggone it, I can't remember what it's called. I want to say it's the Constitutional Sheriffs Association. It's something like that. But look into it. It ain't over yet. We'll do what we can here. But I'll keep an eye on this. God bless you and yours. Love your neighbor. Keep your guns oiled. God bless. Maranatha. Until next time, this has been Indie Soul Prepper.